Hi, I'd like to welcome you to Working with Portraits, our webinar designed to support the Memory Book online yearbook program. Our goal this afternoon will be to focus on the functions of the program associated with student portraits. Specifically, we will be reviewing printing class sheets for teachers or parents to review and correct. Strategies for detecting duplicate images, correcting student names, categorizing students, and using the flow function to create portrait pages. This webinar will be approximately 30 minutes, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we want to do is after we log in, so we want to print the class sheets. These class sheets can be given to the teacher to look at, make sure that the correct students are in their class, the correct spelling of the name is there. And so to do that, we're going to go over to Create right here in the upper left-hand corner. And then we're going to go to Image Library. Then from here, we're going to click this little arrow that's pointing at the word Portrait. All right, and then we're going to click on this first folder right here. After you click on that folder, if you come up here to the upper right-hand corner of this little gray area, you're going to see this little button right here that says Edit Category. This one right, the trash can says Delete. This little arrow pointing to the right, this is a toggle to send this particular folder over to your 2026 2026 book right here. And then here is your PDF preview right here. So if we click right here, this will generate a PDF preview. And what this will do is you can print this off and hand this to the teacher. We'll have the image and the names underneath here. This way the teacher can look at it and say like, no, this particular student is not in my class. This student moved to another class. Like, oh, that's not the correct way to spell Brian. It's with a Y, not an I, or whatever. And so any changes like that can be made right here. And if you would please excuse me for just a second. Okay, sorry about that. So that's how you print out a class list. And then from there, like I said, you can hand that to the teacher and uh, get that corrected. So to uh, edit a class list and all that, we're going to take you to one function right here. This is your coverage report right here. So you can click on Create, come down to Coverage Report. So this coverage report right here will show you many different things. It will show you the first and last name of the students, the grade, homeroom, if that is all filled out. Of course, the number of times they're in the book and what page they're used on and all that. Right here, you can edit the names. And any edit you make here of the names will take effect on the actual image library. So just for instance, this Abby Emily right here. So if I click on this little button right here, excuse me. So I click inside this little box right here. I could change that Y and say it's an IE. So if I go to this folder right here, so there she is right there. And as you can see, the change has taken place right here. The coverage report helps you change the students' names in mass versus having to go to every little folder and trying to hunt down that one particular image and make any changes that way. All right, so we'll move on to the next one. And after getting that class list back, we're going to come back here. And so we can have many different things. So we can do, say we have a student like this one right here. This student isn't in this class. So to move this student, you can simply click and hold this image, drag it over to the class that they're supposed to be in, and just let go. You'll get a prompt right here that says, do you want to move this student? Click on move. It'll move that student out of this class. Um, Real quick, if you do not get that prompt, please check up here in the upper left-hand corner of your browser right here. In Chrome, if you click on this little button right here next to the URL, you will get should have one right here that says pop-ups and redirects allowed. If you don't, please allow the pop-ups and redirects for this site right here. Sometimes your admin or your IT person for the school may have to do that for you because it might be controlled. So let them know that just to whitelist this site, so that way you can get that little pop-up just in case he doesn't get it. So other things you can do is if you have a student, say this student right here that cannot be in the book at all, but their name could be in the book, just not their image for whatever reason. So we can actually hide their image and still display their name. Simply click on this little circle with the letter I in it, or you can actually just double click on their picture. Come over here to details, and under preferences, you're going to see use portrait right here. There's a little drop down menu, so click on that drop down menu, and you can see don't use portrait, or use no photo. If we click on use no photo, it will just use the system's default no photo and then keep the student's name at least in the class or when you flow. So we're going to do that, and we're going to click on done. So right here, you will have no photo over their name. That just signifies that the system is going to use a default no photo. To change any of the student's name, so let's say that this person's last name is missing an O and more. So to fix that, we just double click on their image. We can come over here and then just either create a new person, or we can always go back to the coverage report and change that information right there. For any no photos, or if you have a student that just came in late for the year, they've missed a photo day, and they don't have a photo from another school, we come down here to art, type, borders. Then we can scroll down here for a little bit, and then we see different no photos right here. So we can click on one, click the download button here in the bottom left hand corner, and then I'm going to go to photos right here, and I'm going to click on save. Now I can upload that image as many times as I need to any folder that I need. To do that, just click on upload here in the upper right hand corner. It's that little teal circle. And then you can either click on choose image, or you can just open your file explorer, go to pictures here. So click on your file explorer, click on photos, or in my case, I put this one in pictures, wherever you put it. Click and hold, drag this one over to the dotted line right here, let go, and it will just upload. Once it uploads, I'm going to show you how to tag this image with the student's name. We're going to double click on the photo. Then we're going to click right here on the photo, just anywhere on the photo really. We're going to click right here and it will open up this little box right here. We're going to click inside where it says undefined because it has no idea who this person is or what this photo is. And then you can either scroll down to see if the name is there, or we can click on this teal button that says create new person. So we can give it a name. So really, the first and last name is the only thing you need to put in here. If you want to put grade, that's fine. You can put grade. You don't have to, but really only just a first and last name is all it needs. And then just click on save, and then that person is now tagged. Click done. Their name will appear right here. So if you click off to the class and click back, you will see that the person is now tagged right here. They got a little tag icon right here in the bottom left-hand corner, and they moved alphabetically here in the image library based on their last name. All right. So real quick, before we move on to flowing, there's a couple of things I wanted to point out. If you had your classes uploaded by us, there's a couple of things you might notice. You might notice like a clean upload like this right here. You might notice something like Morris here has an arrow pointing at it and it has other. And if you click on here, and then it may have a folder that says 0. Um, I'll explain this real quick. What has happened is that 0 is supposed to be a kindergarten class, but it got labeled under grade on the index as 0 and not K for kindergarten. And so it does this. It doesn't understand what a 0 is, so it just puts it as an other. So if you see something like that, that's what's happened. Is it just this is the uploader doesn't understand that 0 means kindergarten. Or if you see something like here for Smith, you'll see faculty and kindergarten. What has happened here is Miss Smith here was listed as a staff person under or staff under grade, and their name under teacher. And so it's done something like this. It's listed as a faculty and their name and their kids right here, kindergarten, uh, under their under their folder right here. All you have to do is Control A to select all these students right here. Click and hold, and then just drag them to the file. Teacher right here, just click and hold and drag them to that file right there. And then they're all under one folder right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's talk about the flow function here. So let's click on plan, page ladder, and let's just go to these 2 pages right here. So the first thing we want to do is when we get ready to set up your flow, you're going to go over here to flow right here. You'll see pages, design, images, art, text, and flow. We're going to click on here, and your flow elements, that's what these 6 options are called right here, flow elements. We're going to click and hold. We're going to find one that we want to use. Either it's names on left, right, up, down, or right here, you'll see the individual names next to the individual images. We're going to find one. We're going to click and hold. And we're going to drag it over here. And you see this one right here has many different images, many spots for images. And you may see that it's a lot for what little classes you have. Like for this one, it only needs 21 images. This is way more than 21 images. So to reduce the number of spots right here to kind of fit your need, and so you can actually see the students, With it still selected, and that's this dotted yellow line all the way around, with it still selected, you'll see this toolbar right here above the page. If we click off of it, that toolbar goes away. Click back onto the flow element right here, toolbar comes back. So here on this toolbar, you will see the font. So we can actually change the font of the student names right here. And just so you know, this has to be done before you flow. So if you want to change the font size, if you want to change the coloring right here, again, all this has to be done before you flow. You can also put this stroke style right here puts a border around the individual photos. If you do that, I suggest 2, maybe 3 point as the most. I think anything more than that, it's a little overpowering. Here you also have bold, so you can actually bold the names right here, underline them, and then right here the text transform just goes all original. Or do you want all the names lowercase, all the names uppercase, just the letters in the name? Then right here, the flow options, you'll probably spend a lot of time right here setting things up. So as soon as you click on the tiny little dots with a down arrow right here, as soon as you click on that little down arrow, you'll get a screen like this. The first thing you'll see is automatic right here. And I would highly suggest to uncheck or send that automatic over right here. The reason for it is if I keep automatic on and I start reducing the number of rows, take a look at what's happening right here. These are getting longer. And the reason why they're getting longer is they're trying to hold the shape of the box, of this big box right here. So if I unclick automatic and then reduce the number of rows, so as you can see, it's a less space being taken up. So right here, you have the number of rows and columns being controlled. Next is the height and the width. So right here, we control the width. Now, if we click right here, you're going to see that we're getting a little error or a little warning right here popping up. That's because this box right here, this flow element, does not want to leave the safety and comfort of the blue box right here. So that's why we're getting that little warning. We can't go inside this little box right here and say we don't want it 5p6, we want it maybe 5p0. Then that way we can go to, let's see, should be able to go to 6. No, it doesn't want us to do that. That's fine. But you can change the numbers inside here if you want to try to squeeze as much space in there as possible. We might be able to 7, 8. There we go. The height right here, we can control the height of these boxes. The portrait spacing right here, this controls the spacing between the boxes, side by side and up and down. So if we want to say a little more vertical spacing, we can do the spacing right there. Name width right here controls the width, how much spacing you have for the names. This helps a lot if you have a student with a long name. You may want to up that spacing just a little bit. Next is the portrait shape. Here you can actually change the different shapes of the portraits. A rectangle is the only one with the rounded corner feature. If you do round the corner, 5 is probably the best. 5, 6 is probably a good number for their rounded corners. All right. So once we have it set up the way we want, we can always move it where we want to put the names right here. So we could put the names right here and maybe put the teacher image or whatever information we need to here at the top. Once we have this set up, come up here and click on the Save button, or you can click on File and then Save, however you want to save it. All right. So then once it's saved, we're going to come over here to Category, and we're going to make sure that the teacher we want to flow on this page is selected. So in this case, we're going to go over here to Jones. Then the name format is first last. It means the first name's first, last name's last. Underneath it, we're going to see 21 images, 0 flow, 21 remaining, because we haven't flown any of them in images. So of course, 21 images are remaining. The start and stop is your page. So we're going to start on page 2, and then we want to stop, in this case, page 2, or we can stop on page 3, or we can keep going and stop on page 11 if we want to. So it all depends on what page you need to stop on is where you set your stop. We're going to come right here. We're going to see we have 30 available positions. That means we have 30 blue boxes right here. Now, don't worry, we're only going to use 21 of them. So the rest of them, I'll show you what's going to happen with the rest of them. Once we're done, we're going to come all the way down here to this purple button right here. We're going to click on Flow. And then, as you can see, the images have flown onto the page right here. The blue boxes that were right here, as you can see, those blue boxes have disappeared. They're not really gone. They have simply been shut off. So we're going to reset our flow right here. That's this button right here. If we double click on the blue boxes, we can see these boxes are just shut off. They're just in a hidden state. If we ever need to return a box because we got a new student, all we have to do is click on the eye in the upper right hand corner, and it brings that box back. Just click off of it, and then you can hit save. And then that box is now there. So that way, when you flow with a new student on there, they have a spot for them. That is one thing to please check. After you flow, please check the uh, uh, remaining flow images right here, because there have been cases where students have been left off. There was 20 boxes on here, but 21 students, and the teacher flowed and just left one student off. So please always make sure you check the remaining images to make sure that says 0. One thing you can do is after you flow, if you see that this whole bottom row, we don't need this bottom row, you can't reset it. Click on this, come up here, instead of 5 rows, we just need 4 right there. And then you can always lower this down a little bit more, and then it opens up a little more space to, you could add some filler or a few other things right here. Don't forget to save, and then you can just reflow right here. I think this is the one with the teacher. So I want to show you one that has a teacher in it. Here we go. Right here's one with the teacher. So let's go ahead and return these. And you'll see here, let me show you this one real quick here. You'll see this red box pop up where it says 21 available positions. This red box is let you know that you don't have enough positions. You have 21 positions, but you have 23 images. So it's just letting you know that you don't have enough images or enough spots on this page to flow this class. So you'll have to either add another row or another column or bring back boxes to flow on here. So if you're a school that flows the teacher with the classes, um, you can have everything set up and ready to go. So when we click on flow, one thing you'll see right here is you have a teacher in the 3rd spot. That teacher should be in the 1st spot. What has happened right here is, I can tell you right now, is that teacher is probably listed as a student and not a teacher in the details. So let me show you what we mean by that. We're going to leave this flowed because I'll show you a little trick with this as well. So we're going to come over here to Mr. Atkins right here. We're going to click on this little circle with the letter I, and it's going to bring out the image details right here. We'll click on details. We're going to come down here to preferences, and we're going to see portrait type, and we're going to see wasn't listed as a student, wasn't really listed as anything, but we're going to list him as a teacher. This is a hierarchy system right here. Teachers will flow first, followed by assistant, student, and then other. So we're going to click on teacher and then click done. Then we're going to click on reset. Once we clicked on reset, you will see that the teacher's image now moved to the very top. We're going to click on flow. And now that teacher's image has flowed first. So that's just one quick way to fix that. You can also go back to your image library and fix it. But really, honestly, this is the best way. It's also the quickest way to fix any flow issues right there. Now, the other thing I want to show you is certain flow elements aren't as simple of a setup like this. Not that any of them are difficult. It's just your thinking has to change a little bit with them. So let's click on this one and bring this one here. Before, when we brought this one over, we had a lot of them. So we just had to reduce the number of rows and columns. With this one over here on the right, we have to reduce the height and width in order to add more. So it's just a matter of switching between rows and columns to height and width. Here in the upper right hand corner is a little thumbtack. If you click on that, you can actually move this to the side, and so that way you can see everything here on the right. So before we can change the number of rows and columns, we first have to change the dimensions. So we're going to have to change the width and the height here. So we can lower this down just a little bit, lower this down just a little bit, maybe a little bit more right here. Maybe we can add another column. We may have to lower the height just a little bit. Another thing you can do is come down to portrait spacing. You'll see vertical is at a 3, so we can actually change that just a little bit, and then maybe add. Nope, let's go height a little bit more, and then there we go. We can add another row. This one right here on the right is actually perfect for teacher or staff, mainly because you can put their job titles underneath it if you need to. So let's do that. And then can we squeeze one more? Yes, we can. There we go. So then when we go ahead and save this, and then we do 3 and 3, and then flow, then here you will have the students' photo with their names underneath it. So if you want a teacher in their own box, that's quite simple. All we have to do is let's go back to this class right here, and let's go ahead and move that one over here. Save, and tell you what. Let's do something like this. Here, let's drop this one right here, and let's duplicate it, and drop this one right here. So we're going to go page 3, and we're going to save. So if we want the teacher to be just a standalone photo, you can go ahead and flow the students. Come up here to images, little drop down menu under portrait right here. Click on the little arrow next to portrait, then scroll down to where your staff photos are. Find their teacher, click and hold, drag their image over. And these are older images, so they don't stretch, but you can find their teacher image right here, put their teacher image. there. Then from there, you can do something as I find a shape box, and then you can just decorate the page up right here. Let's put that, send that to the back. There you go. And change the color on it, something like that. And then you can just put a text box right there and then put their name and whatever you need to, just like that. But to set this up, all you have to do is go over to create image library. Let's go ahead and leave it. So anytime you have like, say you have Atkins here, you have the teacher image right here. I'll just click and hold that image, come over and drag it over to the staff and click on move and just move that image out of there. Otherwise it will flow. You can also, if you don't want them out of there and you want to be able to find their image, no, you can also click on the image details, go over to details, preferences, use portrait, don't use portrait, done. So right here it says, well, do not use portrait. Let's go back to our class list right here and let's reset the flow. And let's go back to Atkins. Oh, here, let me reset. There we go. So right here, if we scroll down, you will see that the teacher is not here in the list. So if we go start on 2, stop on 3, let's bring back a couple of these boxes. All right, and then click on flow. You will see the teacher is not here just because we said do not use it. Do not use this image in the flow. So that image is now not used in the flow. All right, let me make sure I have everything covered. Okay, some real quick, some real quick troubleshoots. Let me go ahead and reset that and then refresh the page. It doesn't like the fact that I left it and didn't save it before I left. Let's go ahead and let's say you want the names 14. You want, or let's go back a little bit more. Let's go 12. Let's say you want 12. You want to be able to see the names. So we're going to click on flow. If you don't save it first, then click on flow. Well, look at that. It didn't do what I wanted to do. Here, let's just go ridiculous. There we go. Not too much. Okay, so when we flow, there we go. So after the flow, you may get something like this, depending on the size of the text. If you get something like this right here, where you have a red X, that just simply means that the name or the text is larger than the box that it can be displayed in. There's 2 ways to fix this. One is to simply reset the flow. Click on the flow element and then just reduce the text size to have everything displayed. Or just do that. And let's go ahead here. Let's set everything back up again. All right. So the next one to do, and this is one that I would wait until absolutely the last thing you do before submitting your book. And and I will explain here. So the other thing you could do is expand the flow. So if you click on this, the flow element right here, come up to your flow options, it will immediately take you to expand flow. By expanding the flow, you now have taken this flow element and you've now made it to individual image frames and individual text boxes. This means you can no longer flow in or out of the boxes. So you've basically eliminated the flow feature from this. So if you click on I understand and then hit expand, like I said, these are now individual images and individual text boxes. Unlike this one, this is flow element. When I select it, I select the whole thing. Now I would select individuals right here. So from here, you can expand the text box a little bit, move it over, and then it will eliminate the red X because now you've made the box so that it can display all the names or all the letters in the names and all that. But again, this is no longer a flow element, so you can no longer flow out of it. So even if I did click on reset, you couldn't flow out of it anymore. It went back to normal because I didn't save it before leaving the page. And then the last thing is we do have templates. If you go to design and then go to portrait, here are some of the templates right here. And then all you have to do is click and hold, drag a template over. This retaining is, if you click yes, you retain everything that's on the page. If you click no, it's basically cleans the page and just a clean upload or a clean placement of this template. So you can do any one of these templates that you want. All right. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and open it up to any questions. You can take yourself off mute and ask a question, or you can type it in chat if you want. So if you have any questions about the upload or need to see something or need to have something explained again, I can do that for you. So right above inbox replay, it should be photo share. And there'll be an arrow that left the photo share. Photo share. Yes, there will be one Thursday that will handle all of that. That one Thursday is building activity pages, and that's the one where we go in and actually show you um, how to place like templates like these, how to find all your clip art for stuff, and basically bring clip art onto a page, and put it wherever you want and stuff like that. So yeah, if you haven't signed up for that one for Thursday, go ahead and sign up for it. It's not too late, and we'll get you on the list, and um, you can attend that one. All right. I'm going to go ahead and read this outro here real quick. But if you have any questions, I'll still be available here. Just let me get this one out of the way. I want to thank you for joining us this afternoon. The demonstrations of the functions related to the creation of portrait pages should eliminate some of the trial and error that can occur when working with a book. Printing portrait sheets and editing class data ahead of time should result in better accuracy on some of the most important pages of a yearbook. Feel free to join us next time where we talk about creation of activity pages and candid pages. I thank you very much for joining. I do appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you Thursday for the creating activity pages.